co-creating using the creator archetype within. So my name is Eileen Burns. In today's session, we're going to be talking about how you can tap into the creator archetype for so many things in your business, in your life, in your purpose, and why we all have aspects of the creator archetype. Even if you think that you're not creative, you're not artistic, you do have the creator archetype within. And some of the things that you can do to tap into this and what the co-creator archetype can teach us in relation to our gifts, our potential, and even our shadow, our weaknesses and vulnerabilities. So the creator archetype can help us expand and grow, and it can help us achieve creator mastery with the artist and creative archetype within. And as I said, even if you think you're not creative, everyone has aspects of the creator archetype within. We just need to tap into it, and sometimes it's about releasing certain blocks that we have. Now, we often think of, when we think about anyone as a creative archetype or a creator archetype, think about people we class as artistic or very creative. We think of them as, for example, being someone that's like an artist or a painter, someone that's got very artistic skills, or someone that may be like a musician or a singer, someone who has a gift in this area, or maybe someone that uses certain creative skills in their work, designers, architects, people who create pottery, ceramics, design items that we use every day. But what does the creator archetype look like? Well, it can come in obviously those things that I've talked about, but let's look at it at a different level. If we think that the creative archetype is a form of channeling, we're channeling information. And when we think about creativity, we often think about the right brain, where we can expand our thinking, we can have all sorts of creative ideas and use our imagination, use our expansive, get into a creative flow. But the reality is that creativity comes through as information in a form of then we want to express it in some way. Now, some aspects of creativity are when someone is an artist, they already have maybe certain skills, and maybe they have, well, often they do have, they might not realise they do have some certain knowledge because they are using certain mediums or certain things from memory that maybe they see or what they sense. But they're being a channel for that information. And when you're very soul aligned and heart aligned, it's very easy when you're in a state of beingness, in stillness, or just generally in that state of being a receiver. It's very easy to be that channel and create great things and have creative ideas. But when sometimes we're so over left brain and we're so into our logic and going by what someone else has always taught us and all about just certain stats and certain things and information that's being fed by someone else and is very left-brained, we kind of can lose that balance with the right brain. Now, both are important because we need certain things in the left brain to create, right? Some things have to be grounded and have to do certain things or use certain information, wisdom that we already have. But the creator archetype, we all have that within us because every single day, even if we don't think about it, we're creating situations. We are part of situations. We've manifested situations. We are being creative in what we do. Yes, some people it's more obvious, it's more heightened, it's more expansive. It's part of their purpose and their gifts. But we have to get out of the way of thinking that the creator archetype is just something that's aloof, that celebrity singer that you love as an artist and a creator, but you're not, because you're very maybe scientific or mathematically led or whatever. Now, most of my audience do tend to be quite intuitive and creative to a certain part, but the reality is that even within that, we can all have blocks, and sometimes we get too caught up in our logic way of thinking, especially because even those of us that are really creative, we still live in a world that is very left-brained, and it pushes us toward certain mindsets and old 3D patterns. And as the old 3D patterns have been getting challenged, and as we're moving this 5D and more expansive way of thinking, the power is in the creator archetype. The creator archetype is going to be and I'm not saying this lightly, but I'm not meaning it in a kind of sacrilegious way. But if we think about the creative archetype is expansion, it's growth. The creator, if you think about the creation, the creator archetype represents creating things out of nothing, new things, new expansion. It's about creating new energy and even physical things and new emotions and new experiences, even out of the old, right? It's all about growth, and it's about new ideas and new ways of looking at things. Now, what does the creator archetype teach us about our own gifts and our potential? Now, every single one of us have unique gifts, and they all show up in different ways. And I like to help clients with their gifts and their purpose by seeing it through the eyes of archetypes, because I think it's like storytelling. It can help you see things more clearly, and sometimes we have to see things more simply to see the power in it, because sometimes we overcomplicate things. But it can also help us see the layers. So archetype can be both. It can help simplify things, but it can also make us look at the layers of things that we don't see. But from when we think of the word creativity and creation and being creative, if you think about it's we think about this inspirational ideas, inspirational thought. Someone has an inspirational thought, a moment, and that turns into a vision, an idea, right? And sometimes that idea, they brainstorm that idea, or there is something with, there's a situation and we want a more expansive way of thinking or a solution, we brainstorm. And brainstorm is often using the left and the right. It's using the creative aspect, but tapping into knowledge and wisdom we already have, or tapping into other people's knowledge and wisdom, right? So these are all aspects of creativity. Now, creativity, we have to use the mind, but what I would say is that the more that you can connect with the heart and the soul and become more soul-aligned, more still, and more free from the very programmed, conditioned mind that we have that can limit us, that can keep us thinking only one way of thinking, we expand and we become a creative mind, we become a creative genius. And it's one of the reasons why I did the course, if you can check that out, Awaken Your Creative Genius. And that's for soul-led entrepreneurs that want a creative way of looking at their business, or challenges that they have in their business or a project. It can be used also with charities and other business types as well. But the reality is that when we get into that creative even mindset, we are co-creating, we're expanding, and we're growing, right? So we're co-creating with the universe. We are co-creating with other people and with things that are already there, and we're expanding, growing. But creativity is being a creative channel, as we are a channel for light, we're a channel for God's information, for divinity. We're being given guidance, and when we're in that flow state, it's very easy to come through, and it's very easy to express that in a very natural way. And that is why imagination, children have great imaginations. They are natural channelers. They are naturally pure. They're free. They are not conditioned and programmed yet, as as much as the rest of us, with all this limitation, with this all distorted thinking, with someone's idea that this is truth and this is always. They're expansive and they're open-hearted, and they're coming for this pure high vibration. And imaginations helps us expand. Imagination helps us look at all sorts of possibilities and try out things. It's like when a child imagines 1 minute they're an astronaut, the next minute they're imagining they're a teacher or a dog or a cat, or they're imagining that they are playing with fairies or wizards or whatever. Their imagination is bountiful and it's expansive, and it helps push through timelines. It helps expand us. If we can tap into that, we expand even the quantum possibilities of what we create for ourselves and for the future. And that's why people are very innovative, have got great imaginations, and they will often throw out ideas that might seem absolutely insane, crazy, but they are just saying, like one of my sisters, the one that's just younger, just because I've got a lot of sisters, the one that's just under me, she's very innovative and has worked as an innovator. And both of us can come up with lots of creative ideas for people, sometimes so wacky and so many ideas that it maybe sometimes for other people it can be a lot. But what it is because we can tap into that creative aspect. And it's very freeing when you can tap into that because, for example, I'm someone that have had so many health challenges and so many different type disabilities through my life, and so many things unfortunately happened to me. And guess what happened? One of the biggest saviors for me was my ability to adapt into my creative flow and be able to use creative solutions. And I had to learn a lot of creative ways to do my business and do things not the normal way with all these issues. And there was lots of other things that were challenging, not being able to use my right hand a certain way. And the more that we can tap into being creative, we find innovative solutions and we think out the box, and we don't think that just like everyone else. We don't stay in old ways of thinking. We are solution led, not negative led, not fearful led. We are looking out of the box and we are moving forward rather than backwards, right? Now, when you're really in that creative flow, you've got a high level of motivation. Creativity inspires passion and energy and flow through the body, through the chakras, through an energy field. And it's very pushing. It pushes us forward, right? And creativity can actually bring through new knowledge, new ways of thinking, but it also uses knowledge and wisdom, right? So creativity, we're being a channel, and then when we're in a true creative state, we're in the flow state, and we can use this form as self-expression. And we see that when people are natural artists, where they naturally just express emotions in a powerful way through their art, their voice, the way that they play something, the way that they do something, the way that they express themselves. And one of the things that I have always loved is helping my clients see aspects of them and help them tap into the creative aspect. Because what happens is when you tap into your creative archetype and the creator archetype, you are you're recognizing that God essence within you, that you have the ability to create and that you are more powerful than what you think. And it actually helps you expand your own other archetypes. Now, if you're a creative or an artist archetype, and the more you tap into it, that's going to even be more expansive in your work. But the more that you can tap into that, it gives you a sense of authenticity, freedom, and helps you find different ways to express yourself, which is really, really important when you are a business. And particularly if we think about marketing now, marketing's getting so noisy and so overwhelming for people. And people want to feel and sense certain aspects of you. People now more than ever want authenticity. They want transparency. They want truth. They want to know that you have certain key qualities that are really, really important to them. And this is where the more that you tap into your creativity, it can help you express your unique essence and energy in a more powerful, strong way. So this is why it can really help share your gifts and potential in different ways. And it can also help you become more expressive and own your gifts and qualities, because you get used to being that channel and in that state of flow. Now, what does the creator archetype teach us about our shadow? Right. So we all have shadow within us. We have the gifts, and the power. We have also a weakness, our vulnerabilities, and those things that we don't see. And sometimes, people forget this about shadow work. Sometimes people think it's always about the triggers that come up that we see or feel. But a lot of our shadow we don't actually ever see. Other people can see it, other people can notice it, because we don't have the level of awareness about certain things. Even the most aware person does not see everything about themselves or see it from all angles and see their blind spots, right? So the creator archetype teaches us about our blind spots of things that we may not notice, and it can teach us about things that we do notice, but we're maybe not, and we're still holding on to, or we don't really know how to resolve. But if we think about archetypes in what we call creative, a lot of artist and creative archetypes can get stuck in the shadow of perfectionism. And, it's a form of self-sabotage, but the perfectionism can, take a hold in lots of different ways. But if you think about the good example we will kind of recognise is the starving artist who won't put their art out and not share it with the world until it's perfect, and may die and never share any of their work. So they're being holding on to something that is there to be expressed with the world, and is there to be shared as part of the whole. But their own lack, their own fear of rejection, fear of failure, even sometimes self-obsession can stop them sharing and also appreciating that they're on a path, right? It's like we're all on a path. When we start doing something, we're not perfect. And yes, there's some things that you want to get to a certain level of skill before you start becoming, maybe you're selling something. You want to get to a certain level before you start selling something. But when perfectionism comes in, it holds so many people back, right? Also, this self-obsession or becoming almost neurotic as well. This can be very strong, and sometimes the creative archetype, where it's all about them and their gifts, and so neurotic about themselves, or about and critical of not just themselves, but critical about the world around them and the people around them, that they become self-obsessed by certain things, that they stop the creative flow, that it doesn't become a clear channel, and they're very critical and self-obsessed by themselves and their work. And this also, it can come in relation to all aspects of the wounded child. And also we can see, and I'm going to talk about mostly the eternal child in this one, because when we think about the starving artist, someone that's stuck in their eternal child and the shadow element can not want to grow up and not want to take self-responsibility. And you can see this with adults who expect someone else to always pay the way, or are always criticizing other people that are more successful than them. And they come from this victim mentality, or they expect other people to almost shelter them. You can see this in all sorts of, even you see this when people marry for money, marry for security, right? Or compromise their ethics, go and work for companies or places that are not ethical, or they're doing jobs that are not ethical, because they are stuck in their eternal child aspect, this Peter Pan kind of syndrome, where they want to play and be creative, but they do not want to take self-responsibility. This can show up in a lot of spiritual businesses actually as well, where people want to do the good stuff and they want to do all this thing they love in their business, but they don't want to do the adult aspects of it in their business, the part that is really about the business. So it's the balance. So this is where we all get stuck. The more that we can recognize that we are co-creators and that we are part of this, we are the spark, we're part of the spark, we are all have the ability to co-create in life and share things and be part of the whole, and can be provided for, and recognize that we are that gold, that we are that magic, we are the creativity, then it becomes that we're in a state of flow, we're that channel. But when we're not, when we feel disconnected from God, when we feel disconnected from ourselves, our creativity, when we feel disconnected from that, being able to birth something and birth it till the end and provide it for the end, when we're able to do that, we become balanced. But if not, we get stuck into these different things. And that's why when creative blocks, it is often to do with this disconnection to God, to yourself, and to something beyond what we say, right? And creative blocks are very when we're stuck in the mind, or when we're stuck in we're not in the present moment, and we're stuck in ruminative thoughts, and we are trying to control something. Now, the creator archetype can also show us or teach us that when we're fragmented, we've got soul fragment, we're fragmented from our gifts, our essence, our power, right? When the soul is fragmented, it kind of almost energetically doesn't feel whole, does not feel grounded, is not centered, does not feel like a clear channel. There's a lot of chaos. And when we can bring the person back, or the soul back, and build that connection and power, we feel whole, and we're this natural channel. And this is where, when people are fragmented, or you see this a lot in empaths, when stuck in this people pleasing and so much being in the energy of other people's pain and suffering and other people's needs, that they struggle to know what they need, they want, and what is their own power. And they can take on other people's wounding and pain. And when you take on other people's wounding and pain, you're not in the creative aspect, you're not in alignment, you're not a channel, you're in other people's suffering, you're in other people's limitations and fear. And fear of failure, and this can come from lots of archetypes, including like the almost every kind of archetype can have this fear of failure in some level, fear of failing at life, fear of failing as, for example, as a parent, fear of failing in your career, fear of failing in front of other people because you're concerned about what other people think, your fear of not achieving your purpose, of not doing what you're here to do on earth. And it's because you're not feeling completely connected. You're not feeling that channel. You're not feeling part of the light. And also, when we're in the shadow, it does teach us, again, as I've said, about where we're lacking self-awareness, where we are not in our power, in our sovereignty, and in our sense of freedom, or where we are so self-obsessed about the outcome or what we want out of something, that we are becoming either self-observed, or we're shutting our gifts down, we're being blocked. And this, we see self-doubt, self-sabotage, and it's all about keeping things in. When you're in the flow of the creative archetype, you're in a sharing energy, you're in a flow energy, it's a flow, it's expressing itself very easily, it's very open, and it's very freeing, and you don't have this constraint. It's not about control. and it's not about hidden agendas. You can use the creative archetype in so many different ways, and tap into your creativity in different ways. And as I said, Awaken Your Creative Genius, which is a course I have, I teach a variety of kind of tools and techniques that are really useful if you have a business, if you're a self-led entrepreneur, or you're even running a project or something, and want yourself or your team to start thinking more creatively out the box and really tap into expansion and new ways of looking at things. It can give you all different ways, and it also includes some intuitive things to do. And the reality is, right now, we need more of the creative archetype. The creative archetype is going to be the thing that's going to push so many businesses and so many new projects and new innovation through. And if you're feeling stuck at the moment, as there's so many shifts and changes in the world, and so much people feel this uncertainty, and when you can push into your creative aspect and your creative archetype, you'll be able to expand beyond what you thought before, be able to think new solutions or see things through a new light. And when you can see things through a more expansive light, it gives you more energy, motivation, and it helps you naturally be more intuitive and creative, so they work together. So when you want to expand your intuition, the more that you can expand into the creator archetype, it helps. And one of the simplest way to do it is to go back to the way that when you were like a child. What are all the things that you loved to do as a child? What did you naturally, innately attracted to? And find ways to do that just as part of even a hobby to get you back into that energy. As I said, if you need help in relation to your business or a project, check out this, my course. I'll put it below. Now, I also teach quite a bit about branding in relation to archetypes over at my spiritualmarketingclub.com website. And for those of you who are artists or creative brand archetypes, I have a course on that which you'll be able to access as well. If you need any help on that, you can contact me. But the reality is, we are all creative. We all are creators. If we think every day what we manifest, what we attract, and what we don't attract, that is part of being able to tap into the creator archetype in a powerful and positive way. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe. Tell us below the video what you liked about the video, or if there's anything that it brought up, or if you are a creative or artist archetype and you have a project that you're sharing or you're building on, tell us a little bit more below. Or if something that you maybe struggle with and you need some tips, again, put a comment below. Thank you for watching. Have a beautifully creative day. Bye bye for now.